Art of Hope is an exhibit joining the arts and mental health to raise awareness and inspire hope. For the fourth year, Art of Hope is highlighting local artists by sharing their inspiring works about recovery, healing, and hope. Through art, people of all ages and at all skill levels can express powerful emotions like sadness, grief, anger, fear, as well as joy, love, and happiness. Sharing these emotions through artwork has a positive mental health effect for many people, and this process is what Art of Hope strives to share with the community. Thank you for supporting Art of Hope.
Hi, my name is Tabitha Burks, and I live with schizophrenia and PTSD. I have been creating art my whole life, but now I primarily focus on fiber arts and watercolor painting. Creating art affects my state of mind by helping me to release negative thoughts, to cope with stress, to feel calm and grounded and hopeful, and to create space for positive thoughts. I hope that my artwork inspires you to create.
My name is Pat Chesbro, and I'm an artist participating this year in the Art of Hope. I want to talk a little bit about what art means to me and the place it has in my life. I very much look at art as a spiritual practice in the same way somebody might look at reading the Bible or prayer, yoga, meditation, all of those kind of spiritual practices people have. I very much look at art in that way. Art for me comes from a very sacred space within me. It's a full expression of who I am. And it's very hard to describe what that expression means sometimes, but it very much is a part of me. And in the same way, as a mental health counselor, I suggest that people make their spiritual practices a part of their daily rhythm. Creativity and art for me is very important to be part of my daily rhythm. I would rather have 30 days of doing crappy art than one really powerful day of creativity. It's just really important for me to just in every day let art be a part of it, let art be a part of my expression, part of my connection, part of part of my journey to find out who I am. So much of myself comes out of my art, and in doing so, I really find I have a really deep and powerful revelation of who I am and what my place is in this world, in the art community, in my family, in my job. So very much art is a powerful thing, a powerful tool for me, but not just a tool. I mean, it is very much enmeshed in who I am and how I operate. I find art in everything from putting brush to canvas, welding metal in a sculpture, cooking. I approach cooking as art. I approach relationships as art. Everything is creative. Everything is a powerful reflection of who I am on the inside. So all that to say, I think that's the long way around the barn for me to say that art is found in everything in my life. If I can seek out art in something, I'll find it. I just truly believe that creativity is a spiritual has a spiritual quality to it, and that's what I seek out in my life is that spiritual connection. So, thank you for listening.
Art relaxes my mind. It's the one place that boundaries do not apply. It begins as a conversation between the canvas and I. Sometimes I speak to it, and sometimes it talks right back. And like mental health issues, sometimes these conversations are difficult to have, frustrating, and sometimes we don't want to have them at all, but it's necessary in order to promote awareness and healing as well. I always like to give the viewer like a conversation piece, a different perspective. And that if the viewer can even relate to 1 ounce of that artwork, then, they know that they're not alone. And who doesn't want to feel understood, right? I also want to show that there is a beauty and a love and definitely hope in suffering, sadness, anything that a person can possibly be going through.
To answer how does creating art affect my state of mind, I would say it just helps me shift my perspective. Creating is also one of my coping skills, so it very much just brings me to center and just helps me focus. And simultaneously, I'm creating a representation of what I'm going through at that time. I'm going to answer how is mental health represented in my artwork. So as I said, each of these pieces were made when I was experiencing some type of mental health crisis that was situational, and I wanted to create something that represented that. And so it just shows how I was feeling and what I was going through, kind of in a static way.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Gabbard, and I'm a painter. I work with acrylics, and I like to use really bright colors, and I like to texturize my paint a lot. I like to beat up my canvas a little bit. What I really like about painting and how it affects my mind in the process of doing so is that it engages all five senses. Because of that, I feel like I'm able to reconnect with my inner child and my childlike wonder and curiosity and creativity, which are things that I wasn't allowed to express when I was a child. I've been able to work out not just expressing when I'm having a really feelings of joy, but also when I'm really struggling with something. I've been able to take it to the canvas, and sometimes can work it all out in one setting. Other times it takes a process of a couple settings, but it's very cathartic and empowering to be able to have a painting, to be able to produce a painting out of those kind of feelings. Because I do identify so much with my emotions, I think other people are able to really connect with my work. I find my painting to be a very powerful voice and very cathartic.
My name is Christina Hoover. I'm an artist that mainly works in acrylic on canvas. I was asked, how does creating art affect your state of mind? To answer that question, I really have to take it back to my childhood. I grew up in Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, which is not the good side of Las Vegas. And I saw a lot of violence growing up. I went through the foster system. I was sexually assaulted at the age of 2. That was the first time. And I still remember it. I was adopted by a family who seemed nice, but they actually were like a cult. And they adopted me and took me out of school in the 5th grade, told me to tell people I was homeschooled. So I did, because I didn't really have a choice. I was molested from the age of 7 to 14, along with verbally abused and physically abused during that time. I was closed off, so I didn't have any access to TV or friends, really. I was very protected, isolated. I was allowed to go to the library and get books, so I would get books on the ocean. It is my favorite topic. I actually wanted to be a marine biologist and or an artist. And I did have access to pencils, pens, and paper. So I basically, for a coping mechanism, before I even knew what that was, I turned to artwork. And I would draw and read about marine life. And that was my That was my getaway. Art affects my state of mind because it was an outlet for me growing up, and it's always been a part of who I am. I found out later that my birth dad, who left the picture early on, like right after I was born, he was very artistic also. So I actually think that I got that side from him. He turned out to be a pretty cool guy later on. But I love art because it protected me. It protected my mind and helped me get away from the trauma I was going through. It gave me peace of mind, and it still does. I was diagnosed as bipolar, and this really helps me put my dream into reality. It really calms me, and just to be able to see something come to life, it takes me out of what happens to me or my current panic attack or the fear that surrounds me, and it helps stabilize me. It stabilizes my emotions. I actually contrast the darkness of what I went through with color. I love bright colors, and I love science fiction, and I just like bringing hope to the world.
Production facilities provided by Access Fort Wayne. Learn more under the Explore tab at acpl.info.
The views and opinions expressed do not necessarily represent those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting group. If you or anyone you know might be interested in making a television show, please call 260-421-1250.